Audubon 2456.
File corrupted. Beginning recovery process.
State of the Save is back with the first file corrupted of season 3. We got a great show for you, everybody, today. The hotness in the video game world, Elden Ring. It would be impossible for us not to talk about it. So we have gathered the Elden Ring crew here to discuss the going on of Elden Ring. With me on the Discord, Michael. How are things going, Michael?
It's going good. I pulled myself away from playing Elden Ring to be here, so...
I'm glad you did. It would have been very awkward. It would have been very awkward if you were still playing and not on the show. It kind of eliminates the purpose of this. Returning champion guest, Tanner, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. It's good to be back. I have also pulled myself away from Elden Ring. I will only have time to do some leveling in Final Fantasy XIV tonight.
Okay. Only, just gotta throw that out there right from the get-go.
I just know that I will not be able to concentrate on Elden Ring tonight, but if I need an hour, I could just like level up my Dark Knight in Final Fantasy XIV because I'm a Final Fantasy XIV guy now.
I don't know how to address you now, knowing that about you. I thought we were cool, but we're gonna let that slide and let you be on the show anyway.
It comes for all of us eventually, apparently. One day an expansion will come out, and then it'll be my turn, and it'll eventually claim us all.
Hey, there's that free trial. There's that free trial up to level 60 with the Heavensward expansion.
I would have gotten into it now if it wasn't for the, on top of all the fees for PlayStation Online and stuff, if it wasn't a monthly subscription fee on top of that. That's the one thing that keeps me from diving in.
Oh yeah, no, I completely understand that. Every time I pay that subscription fee, I just feel like a sucker. I know that I get so much joy out of it. I make use of that subscription, but every time I do it, I just feel like an idiot. And also between the expansions, there's a lot of story stuff and a lot of new dungeons and stuff. And I remember telling a coworker who also plays it, I'm like, yeah, after I beat the first one, I can't believe how much story stuff they just give you in free updates. And he's like, well, they're not free. You pay the subscription. I'm like, oh shit, you got me there.
That says that their advertising is working at the fact that you just went ahead and said, look at all this free stuff I'm getting as your credit card gets charged every month.
Literally, that's exactly what happens.
MMOs are just gym membership. They lure you in with a sense of accomplishment and everything, but really they're just reeling you in the entire time.
Yeah, I like how you used a sense of accomplishment as a great segue.
Yes, talking about accomplishment. Also talking about something that you need to focus on. Elden Ring. This is the reason we're all here. This game's kind of taken video games by storm. It's been kind of the biggest release in a very good while since a release like this.
The numbers just came out for it. It is the biggest non-FIFA Call of Duty launch since Red Dead Redemption 2. So,
I mean,
God,
that's
wait
impressive.
For Elden Ring?
Elden Ring, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
because it's one of those where I've wondered if it's just my circle that everyone's talking about it, or if it's beyond my circle and this is truly everyone is talking about it.
It's kind of dominated a lot of video game discussion, which I feel bad, of course, for Horizon again, which 1 week after Horizon came out last time, Breath of the Wild came out. And then 1 week after Horizon 2 came out, Elden Ring came out. So I believe Dan Reichert posted a tweet that was I cannot wait for when Horizon 3 comes out, because that means one of the greatest games of all time will come out a week after.
100%.
I will say this, that I think the game just got so much buzz that it was almost impossible for people that I'm not even a From Software kind of guy. I played the first Dark Souls. I played maybe 10 hours of it, and just never got into the rest of it for no reason other than generally I have a hard time with like long-term commitments with games like this. I feel like the need to really want to make sure that I give myself enough time to really invest myself in it. And the hype train on this did not catch me until release day, in which it was just like everyone's talking about this. I feel like the kid at the party who's in the corner not talking to anyone. I feel like I have to be. I was bullied, is what I'm saying, into playing Elden Ring.
Because it was me and Nick talking on the Discord about how good Elden Ring was, and you're like, I need to check this out.
And also on top of that, it's just I wonder how many people, because it's selling very well. I wonder how many people are actually being kind of kicked in the face and not sure what they got themselves into, because I've seen a lot of people, like people at work and stuff, who've asked me about it, and like I try to give them like the positive pitch, but with a hesitation behind it. I'm like, oh, it's a very good video game, it's great, but be aware this is a game that's actively trying to destroy you. It's not trying to let you see this content. Just know that before you get into this, because I have people at work coming up to me being like, hey man, my 10-year-old wants to buy this Elden Ring, and I'm like, hey man, like, just be aware that he might not be having as good of a time as you think he will. Just you have to put that little bit of a asterisk beside all the support for the game.
Absolutely.
But I wonder how many people, with this being maybe their first From Software game, like how many people are actually really enjoying it as the first kind of entry into this kind of game.
I was intimidated by this game, honestly. This is not my first From Software attempt, I should say. I played Dark Souls in college, about to a guy called the Capra Demon, which Tanner was actually the one who discouraged me from ever playing Dark Souls again, because I was stuck on this guy throwing myself at a wall. And it was like, oh yeah, and Tanner was like, I was like, just can't beat this boss, and then Tanner said, oh yeah, that guy? That's a mini boss.
Wait, Michael, no, that can't be me. I never played Dark Souls.
I swear it was you.
No, I've never played Dark Souls. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that's a mini boss, is what I thought you said. And I was like, I'm never gonna touch this thing again.
Not in Dark Souls. I have no clue, dude.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
I could have sworn that was you. Okay, never mind.
Wait a second.
I played Bloodborne in college, but I never played Dark Souls.
I just like the idea. Okay, Michael also has a story of a friend ruining the Metro franchise for him.
That was him.
Was that you? Tano?
No, that was not him. That was not him.
I think he's just putting me. I think he just thinks I'm so negative about like his playing games that like he just puts me in all these scenarios. Like anyone who's ever like said shit about him, it's just my face on top of theirs.
But no, he just assumes behind every YouTube comment is just you. So anytime someone talks junk about good, it's just you in a new.
In fairness, most of it, I understand most of those are me. Like most of the time, like Michael reads those are me. But like this is a case where it was not. I never verbally told you anything about Dark Souls because I have never touched it, which is weird for me because just real quick, I played and beat Bloodborne back when it came out, and it is like one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Just absolutely love Bloodborne.
That's why.
And for some bizarre reason, for some bizarre reason, I've just never touched a Dark Souls, and I didn't even touch Sekiro, which I wanted to play for a while. But I did decide to be part of the zeitgeist with Elden Ring.
I played a bit of Sekiro up until like the third boss. I did beat Lady Butterfly, which I hear was an accomplishment, but around the time of the third or fourth boss was when for the difficulty just because. The thing about Sekiro is you can't level up. Your skill set in that game is your skill set. You either master it or you don't finish the game. So, but what attracted me to Elden Ring was actually the promise of the open world. I remember reading a interview from Miyazaki whenever the gameplay trailer came out for this. And he said it was going to be like a series of dungeons that you can accomplish in any order, and then a final boss challenge on top of that. So when I read that pitch, I was like, I can do anything in any order? Oh, that kind of solves a lot of the problem I had with Dark Souls and Sekiro, where if I got stuck, that was just the end of the road for me. So, and I'm glad I jumped in on this day one, because this is probably the most fun I've had with a game on release since probably Skyrim, in the sense of the game is amazing, and the talking with so many like different messaging channels open of people I'm just talking with about Elden Ring, and like how none of our experiences are the same. Brings me back to that time.
I think one of the more interesting things about what you kind of said, and it seems like Tanner, you're the only one of the three of us who actually has completed one of these games.
Yeah.
But so and Michael, you've definitely got more experience than I do with these. But I think one of the biggest things that kind of attracted it to me and made me realize that this, I think, is the one that I'm going to try to take an honest shot at, was kind of what you were talking about, Michael, with that ability to step away. Hitting a brick wall in Dark Souls where you're just at that one boss and you're just banging your head over and over and over and over against it was always the thing that turned me off of it. The ability here, like, I'm at a spot where I'm stuck. I am having some issues. But last night, I tried it a few times. Things didn't go well. I just hopped out to the open world into an area where I've never been. I put my little marker on my map out in the distance, and I just rode that direction and see what happened. You know, and that's such a bonus to me, is the ability to step away, still have fun with the game, see new stuff, face new challenges, without having to just hit your head against the wall over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
you know
it's so much. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was looking at my phone because I was thinking, well, yeah, Michael and I have been texting about this. And just real quick, this is the first interaction we had after playing the game. This was at 6:25 p.m. I just said, finally started Elden Ring. I just got the horse. Michael said I got my horse after so long because I went to the east. And what I want to note is 3 hours later, I asked, have you beaten Margit? And I think that kind of says it all, because you're talking about like this wall. And that's where like I hit a wall, and I think Michael talking about like what your experience convinced me like I have to fucking leave this. I can't throw myself at this anymore right now. I have to go.
It seems like he's designed that way too, because it is literally just to get to Margit, it's literally just a path forward pretty much. And then once you get to him, that seems to be the clue of I shouldn't be here right now. So
He's definitely, I think, the first like major skill challenge. Like the first night that I played it, Michael and Nick on the Discord have been talking about it for about 2 days, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna just kind of mainline the path until I get stuck. I'm gonna stick on the path, and when I get stuck, I'll go. So in the first night, I got all the way up to Margaret, and I was like, oh man, I'm an Elden Ring pro here. Look at these suckers talking about how difficult this is, and then I hit that wall. And but it's definitely, I think, the first like kind of like level / skill / understanding of the mechanics check the game gives you, because that was the first time where I couldn't just kind of dodge my way around things and get lucky. I actually needed to have a lot more of an understanding about the mechanics of how this goes, and I think that's kind of the point where I think they kind of make or break you kind of situation. Like, okay, are you willing to? This is going to be these hard checks that the game's going to throw at you, but we're going to allow you to pull away anytime you need to go out into the open world, do some leveling, do some equipment finding, stuff like that. Let's kind of back up for a second. What class did everyone choose?
Confessor.
I did hero. And since then, I have basically no leveling of faith, just like strength, vigor, those stats.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm playing samurai, so it's just strength and dexterity. So it's cool that everyone played different classes.
Strength, dex, and faith. I'm basically a glass cannon. I don't have much health at all, but I've been trying to use all my levels, especially recently, to build that up again. A lot of defensive thrusting.
Defensive thrusting is the name of the band I had in high school.
I did not spend much time in that character creator, to be honest. I forget that, I never see my character. It's
you really
so
don't.
I'm like, Yeah, why? It's not a Commander Shepard type. Oh, I need to make sure this character will look good in the cutscenes. Like, no, I just like took basically default stuff. I'm sure people can do some amazing things with that character creator, but even in Bloodborne, I'm like, I can already tell that's not what this game is about.
I'm the most quote unquote creative person. What I did was I saw my guy was like a faith build type, so I put a scarf around his eye to make him blind, and I made him Isaac. And I went, I am a genius.
Congratulations, you have won the internet today. Claim your prize on the door at the door. I too kind of went with like a default character. To me, like it matters more like what my armor looks like and my equipment looks like in this game than it like my character. I'm so covered up. Like I played the samurai class, so I had some really cool looking starting armor. So I was like, I'm covered like head to toe. I don't really care what this guy's face looks like, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more options than I thought they were going to give me. Just I was like, you think it would be kind of straightforward, but one of my favorite.
It's a little overwhelming at first, especially if you're like, at least they got an explanation tab to help you out, because otherwise you're like, what is arcane? Like, do I need a lot of that? A little of that? What?
Even then, yeah, it's definitely overwhelming because they really. That's like you said, Eric. I'm wondering how new people are reacting to this because that screen, like, this game is obviously getting a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild, which I think are deserved.
Yeah.
But Breath of the Wild is like, all right, here's Link and go. Whereas this game is like, I mean, it's like D&D where it's like, okay, here are your stats, and it's like, well, what do these stats mean? And it's like strength and vigor, stuff like that's obvious. But yeah, what is art? It's like, wait, how is arcane different from faith, and why is endurance, different from like vigor? And yeah, you slowly learn all this, but right at the beginning, if you've never played one of these, it's like, this is, yeah.
Especially intelligence and faith, because you're like, intelligence strengthens incantations, faith enhances certain incantations. You're like, what's an incantation? What?
I am continually learning things about this game. Like I did not. I'll admit it. I did not know how to do a guard counter until last night, and it was because I was stuck on. Yeah, I beat Margaret. I beat 3 or 4 bosses without using the guard counter. I just got really good at rolling.
That's my entire strategy is guard counters.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got in my notes here literally the second thing I wrote down, and this is like I took notes for this conversation, but this one was basically to myself. I just wrote, "Gotta stop spamming roll," like because I'm just constantly like rolling around in a circle, just nonstop.
No, gotta go fast. Keep rolling. When in doubt, roll. If it looks like it's going to hit you, roll. That, and I've gotten really good at using the horse as iframes. Mike was sent a video to in the Discord that had like some beginner's tricks to the game, and that was a trick that he had put on there. And once I learned that, man, open world bosses are going down like punks because I'm cheesing the hell out of that mechanic. I'm okay with admitting that. If I could cheese it, I'll cheese it as I have to.
Oh, I'm cheesing everybody.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying not to summon people sometimes, at least, or I've only summoned NPCs. Especially because, and I can't wait till we get to one where like there was like lore stuff where if I summoned him, he actually had dialogue with the boss.
Really?
Yeah, but well, yeah. So that's the kind of the thing, right? Is like with games like this, I don't think there's a way to cheese it that's like unfair. Yeah, I mean, the really good people get mad, but like, dude, this game is hard. Any win is a win. I mean, like the guy Margit, by the way. You're saying roll all the time, but he was the one who reminded me, like, no, you can't, because he's gonna hold that weapon in for like 3 rolls. He's gonna like hold that sword up, and you're gonna be like, oh, I should roll. Then you roll. He's like, still got it up. Okay, roll again. Still got it up. And on the 3rd time, he'll finally take it down. You've rolled like, you're getting out of the roll. Whatever. It's just so, which is good. I mean, it's one of those where it teaches you, like, no, you can't spam roll. You do have to learn precisely when.
I was able to beat him and several like the giants in the open world. I was having all this success, but there was a guard camp early on in the game. That's just a bunch of like standard guards, but one of the guys is like a heavily armored guy with a spear and a shield. And for some reason, that motherfucker would not go down, and it's because I did not know the guard charge thing, and so like I would kill everybody. I just for some reason that one motherfucker, and when last night, after some conversations we had while I learned that mechanic, first thing I did, I went all the way back to that little camp and just killed that one guy. I was like, okay, I got this thing down. We've done settled this problem. I can go about my business.
I didn't find that guard camp until so long because, like I said before, like in the message with Tanner, I went east. I didn't see the site of grace when you leave the dungeon. I immediately was just like, let's go! So I didn't get my horse or Melina until, or the ability to level up for about 6 or 7 hours of exploring.
Oh, God. Like, this is... Just thinking of how hard it was for me, like, I don't know how y'all did it. By the way, we keep mentioning Margit. Just before I forget, I want to say I kept a tally of my attempts. Took me 47 tries. Number 47 was where I finally beat Margit.
4 tries.
Kill yourself.
I would tell you
Jellyfish
this.
gang, rise up.
Hey, who'd you say you had that boss you're having trouble with? We were talking about before recording. I beat him in 4 tries, and you
Awesome.
tried 4 times and lost. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, Godric's gonna beat me to shreds, so...
I feel like there's this weird thing that happens where you either beat the boss in the first night that you try him, or you're going to be stuck on him for at least 3 days. There is no in between. Like I said, I plowed right through the beginning of this. I went through several like the tougher encounters. There's several things on the way to that first boss. Like the kind of getting into the castle itself, where you got to deal with like the ballista and the little like kind of canyon you have to walk your way through at one point, where it throws one of those big giants, a bunch of assassins, a bunch of archers. It just continually, like, I barely got through there with like maybe like a millimeter of health, and I was desperately looking for a state of grace, and then all of a sudden wolves fell from the sky. It was just a bad experience for me. But like
The wolves falling from the sky is a consistent thing. It's weird.
It's terrifying though. It is terrifying when it happens. But I feel like I got through all of that in one try. Didn't have any issues. But then I finally did beat Margaret, and now like this little castle section's just kicking my ass. Either it's the eagles with the blades on their feet, or it's
those guys
trying to beat that one knight that they lock you in a room with. It's just a repeat of deaths. So I feel like there is no in between. It's either a one shot or you're there for at least 2 days. Michael, one of the things that interesting to me is that you played 7 hours without leveling up at all. When was the point you thought to yourself, I clearly am missing something?
It was the second. I knew that I was, because I was like, I could go down the critical path, but at the same time, I'm really close to this urge tree, and then I find an elevator that goes underground to a city where I look up and see the night sky, stuff like that. I was just like, I'll get there eventually. I was just having fun, like just taking in the world for that time. Like I was getting killed sometimes, but it was ultimately a test of like me testing out the mechanics. Like, okay, how far can I fall down a cliff without dying?
Yeah.
Let's explore some sites of grace. Okay, I can't get there until I have my horse. Oh, here's this castle. How on starting level, because on Confessor I start at level 10. He has the highest base level to begin with, so in that regard I didn't feel like I was too underleveled for like the beginning of the game. So I just played around in like the south of Limgrave first, and then when I got my horse, I went back to the southern peninsula and spent a lot of time there attempting Castle Morn, just having like a good time exploring before I even like attempted Margit. And because I think it was about level 25 before I got to Margit, which was because I went down, I got a sense of my weapon and how to use it. I got a sense for the summons, especially the jellyfish, Team Jellyfish all the way.
God, the jellyfish. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I just want if
That's okay.
people I know listen to this, they were shitting on me for using the jellyfish so much. They're like, nah, use the three wolves. No, the jellyfish. The jellyfish is so much better than the three wolves. I do not know what people are talking about. The wolves suck. They don't do anything good. The jellyfish is a tank. Like it is clutch. Every time I think a boss he's like raising his sword about to hit me, jellyfish like does that thing, just shoots, and like the boss gets distracted and he goes after jellyfish. And guess what? He does the hardest attack. Jellyfish still lives because jellyfish just fell the tank roll. Jellyfish rules. Love the jellyfish.
He's
Anyway,
just spamming poison, so when he's gone, he's still helping you. So
yes,
it's just
he rules.
I have not acquired the jellyfish. I feel this desperate need to go acquire him.
you can. It's really easy.
It's the easiest. Yeah.
It's literally when you get to Stormhill, you can acquire it.
When that part you were talking about where you there was the giant and like the wolves falling on you and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you take a right, like actually there's this site of grace right there. Right to the right of that site of grace is like an old shack, and there's a girl in there, and she's like, all my friends were carved up and like made a part of some other dude, and that really sucks. Here, have a jellyfish summon, and you get a jellyfish summon. She's like, I'll probably end up joining them as well. And
I don't think I got a jellyfish.
Well,
I
you might have, or keep talking to her. One thing this game doesn't tell you is like when the conversation's over, it's like no, hit talk until you start repeating dialogue because things change.
I found so much cool stuff, and I have like a series of notes from NPCs because the one thing, like, don't say this on the Elden Ring subreddit or you'll get skewered, that I wish this game has is kind of a quest journal, because I have to keep my own quest journal what NPCs are saying. So, like, I had one that was like, okay, when I go into the Mistwood and I hear howling, I need to snap my fingers to make a guy appear.
Yep.
So that was one of the things I had written down.
Did you do that yet?
Yeah, I did. Because
okay, that's who I was talking about. That's who, if you summon him to fight a certain boss, he talks to that boss.
I had already killed that boss before I found him.
Oh.
So he was just weighing out there going, you did it. Here you go.
Oh, really? Because,
So-
I found that boss and summoned him, and he's like, all right, we're going to finish this shit.
Yeah, Bloodhound Knight, I think his
Blade.
name is. Bloodhound Blade.
It's like, or Blide, I think.
Blade. He was the first mini boss I took down in the game.
Nice.
So.
Oh, just real quick, I forgot to mention, so I didn't do critical path right away. I took a weird, like, kind of a northwest direction and ended up at a dungeon called, I got it here, Stormfoot Catacombs. And that was, like, the final boss of that dungeon is one of the, like, wolf statues or, like, cat statues, whatever they are.
The cat.
Have you fought those guys yet?
I fought a cat. I fought one of the cat statues in the peninsula, but he had a whole bunch of rats.
Yes. Okay.
Attacking you at the same time.
Yes. So mine didn't have that. Mine was like the most basic version of that. But when I did it, I felt so accomplished. And now, like, realizing, oh no, he's like a boss they're gonna reuse. And I felt I did the easiest version, and also it took me way too long to beat the easiest version of him.
They're like, oh no, they're gonna like send these guys in packs.
That rat one was hard. I did eventually beat the one with the rats, but he was hard because he just comes at you with those rats.
When I fought him in one of the dungeons, I got a really cool ash that was a bunch of demi-humans with, like, caveman clubs. They'll just go around and just start beating one
That's
guy
my
in the
other
center
main
with
ash.
it. Yeah,
I just used the demi-humans and the jellyfish.
Same. That's what I got. That's my 2 team right now.
Debbie Jelly Bros right here, Michael. We're Debbie Jelly Bros.
Every time I summon the jellyfish, me and my wife go Jeffrey!
It has a name, too. Jeffrey. If you look at, like, the lore, there's lore to the jellyfish. It, like, has a backstory.
I need to read the jellyfish lore.
I think it's a girl, actually. We've been calling him a dude. I think it, like, has a female, like, name. I forget. I don't know.
Aw.
It's just all of a sudden Michael's entire life is a lie. He's like, no, Jeffrey is a Jessica.
Her name is Jeffrey. That doesn't change anything.
Yeah, who cares? No, I have agreement with you, Michael, and about the quest log stuff. I don't want the game to, like, feed me that stuff. I don't want glowing marks on the map or anything like that. I love the way it's set up, but just an easy place in game. almost if it was even like a place where I could put my own notes in game, so I could have quicker access to them.
Yes, or like how Morrowind does it, where it'll feel like paragraphs of like text describing like I met this NPC. He told me I should probably go here. So like just keep a log of that, because I know
just
that
a
if
log of the conversations, even
a conversation log would be perfect.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, I was taking paper notes for this, and I don't know if you guys can see, but on Market here, I have a picture of myself hanging myself. I drew that around Yeah, that's not a joke. I fucking drew that because I was so angry. And actually, the place Michael mentioned, I also have the entire section dedicated to Castle Moore, and I put a heart because I love that section.
That is so cool. I actually went back to it. I went there low leveled at first. I went back to it after fighting Godric, and I went through that whole section more leveled up, and it felt good. I still died the first time in that those pack of demi-humans that just like jumping. Screw those guys.
Oh god, yeah. They're constantly jumping at you, and then you find the ones with wings. Like
oh god.
Dude, that was where, like, and I love it too because it's such a perfect setup. Like, kudos again to these, and I mean, this is kind of what we could get into. But one of the reasons this world is so good is that, and why there were doubts about whether it might be so good, is that a lot of open world games are very like, okay, we're gonna copy paste this. Like, I love Breath of the Wild, but so many of the Bokoblin areas you take out in Breath of the Wild are very like, yep, here's another Bokoblin tent, and there's a fire in the middle, and let's see how I can use it. Every
They're
piece
blue
of
this
feels,
time.
yeah, and that's great. I'm not like shitting on Breath of the Wild, but
no.
that is a thing. Yeah, but with this, it even like these small areas feel so handcrafted, like someone went over with a fine tooth comb. And I love that, like, yeah, with Castle Morn, there's such a great moment where like you see one of those like demi-humans, and you kind of like start walking up to him, and then these two flying demi-humans that they've kind of hidden like behind gargoyles fly out, and it's just this like, oh shit moment.
I thought they were statues at first.
Yeah. Oh, it's so perfect.
That's on the bridge there, correct? You go up there with that bridge. Yeah, because it baits you into a false sense of security, because at that point you've dealt with enough of them. You're like, it's one guy. I can kill one guy. No problem. And then out comes the flying bastards.
Yeah.
I got my shield up. What are you going to do? He apparently they tackle you and then stab you on the ground.
Did you see my that tweet I posted?
No, I haven't.
Of how I died?
Oh yeah, they killed you mid fall.
Yes. Yeah. So I post. I don't like tweet, but I posted just my favorite death so far because I was rolling around one and I rolled off like the edge, but it was a like short enough fall that I would have lived through it. And the demi-human with wings dove. He grabbed me in midair, stabbed me, and it was clearly like a broken animation because I'm supposed to be lying flat on the ground, but I'm just lying flat in midair. And he just stabs me like straight through the heart, and I die, and my like limp body just falls to the ground. I'm like, this is. Because I thought for sure I was safe. There was just a split second. I'm like, oh, I got it. Like, he's not going to follow me down here. And he's like, no, I'm not coming down to you. You get your ass up here to me. All right? Like, that's not how this is going to go down.
The way you think you're going, boy. I want to kind of tag in on what you were talking about, the ward. I spend so much time, like, just finding little bitty encounters that are buried away in this ward. I spent about 10, 15 minutes navigating some cliffs last night. And the only thing down there, I think, was like a small upgrade. It might have been some like throwing knives or something like that. But it was such a nice little platforming area. And then it looks like it was leading nowhere. And then bam, little combat encounter on the side of the cliffs. I think it was against some of the it was some flying enemies there. I think it might have been the eagles or something like that. And it was just like. To well thought out. It's been a long time since I've played an open world game that makes me really want to just kind of wander down paths. I have a tendency to be very like critical path focused on open world games. Like I'll maximize my side quests. I'll get 3 or 4 of them queued up in an area, and I'll go around and knock out all 4 of them at one time, and then go turn them all in at once. And here it's. I have, like I said, I kept multiple times. I just kind of back away from the main, quest line and just go, let's just put a marker out here and let's just ride that way and see what the hell we find. And that's a testimony to their design also, because it does such a great job of, like, you'll look out into the distances. There's always something out there you want to go look at. There's always something that just kind of draws the eye. This is a beautiful ward that they've created. It looks great. I don't know what you guys are playing on. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. What are you guys playing on?
I wanted to mention this. So Michael, say what you're playing on.
PlayStation 5.
All right. So I am playing the PS4 version on the PlayStation 5. That is not an accident. That is a choice. I heard that there are frame rate dips in the PS5 version, even if it doesn't look as good on the PS4 version. I'm like, no. I want the smooth frame rate. Give me 60 FPS constantly. So like I made it a point to play the PlayStation version of this. So that's
you
pro
transfer
gamer
your
over
save whenever some patches?
Yes. That was the big I would not have done this if I didn't read like, oh yeah, you'll be able to like transfer your PS4 save to PS5, but not the other way around. So I was like, okay, I'll do the PS4, and then when they update PS5 and like fix some of these issues, it's like, okay, I want the grass to look nice now. Speaking of which, I have not stopped reading Touch Grace as touch grass. I can't do it. Every single time I read it as touch grass.
It's like, damn, this game keeps telling me to go outside. Jeez,
dude, this game is like, hey, what's wrong with you, virgin? You maidenless virgin. You stupid. I'm like, what are you, my fucking high school bully? What the shit is this?
It kind of gets to you after a while too. You're like, you motherfucker game.
I watched
I know all sorts of shit you don't know. I can do all sorts. I'll go right now.
Listen, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try my fingers in my butthole. I'm not doing that. I don't care how many times you tell me.
You know, I have one of the things that I'm very happy about doing is playing this with like the hype. Right? Because there's just, you're always seeing specters throughout the world of other players. There's just messages everywhere of varying degrees of helpfulness.
I had one, when you get one that's very helpful, they're great. I had one today in Castle Morn. I was about to cross a bridge with a bunch of dudes, and one of them says, had like an animation pop up where he was just like blocking the way, and he said, "Turn back, sight of grace behind." I was like, oh. So
that's a really good one, yeah.
So I was like, oh, thank you, because I would have got killed if it wasn't for that.
So, Michael, you had talked about playing a bunch of Death Stranding. We need a ability to like messages, like there is in Death Stranding, where you can kind of leave a or something, right?
Yeah.
Can you like messages?
Yeah, a praise.
Oh yeah, but that's not. It doesn't show like the number of them. I want to see.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
The number on the bottom right corner of them, yeah.
Maybe I'm just an asshole and I just read them real quick and keep on moving. I'll be like, I'll trust any of these motherfuckers.
When I boot up my game, I get like a few, your message has been appraised, and my character like glows orange for a little bit.
You get... Oh, wait, are we still talking about Death Stranding or Elden Ring?
Elden Ring.
Because you get healed when someone likes your message, right?
In Death Stranding?
No, in Elden Ring.
In Elden Ring. Oh. That's what that was, because I was like...
That's what that glow is. You're being healed.
Oh.
Son of a bitch, I didn't know this.
That's why I make it a point to favorite, appraise everyone that actually helps me. Like, I will go back and do it because I'm like, yeah, maybe you need health right now. I've heard stories from people who are like, yeah, I was about to get killed by a boss. I'd used all my flasks, and then someone liked my message, and I beat the boss.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, I did not know this, and now
I try to leave messages. Yeah. And mine have not I think the best one I've had so far, and again, this is one of those dumb meme ones, but I saw a skeleton. He was like bent over a cliff, like from the waist up was over the cliff, and so I just stood next to him and put "rump" with an exclamation point, and that one got a couple likes. So that one was nice.
One that I think did best for me was there's a side quest in the peninsula. In order to open up a gate that leads to a talisman, you have to find 3 ghost turtles.
Is that what that means? I found that area. Yeah. Okay.
So I know this players were using dog to every time there's a turtle around. So I put seek dog, and that got a lot of upvotes because people go, oh, turtles.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Like,
there's like a language.
I love
there's
the
like a
message
language
system
to this game. In a way.
Oh, yeah.
I've been liking any of these. Now I feel like I'm like letting down the community. Like, guys were desperately in need of health, and I've just been like, oh, that's a funny joke, and just kept on about my damn business.
Not all of them are helpful. There's been quite a few troll messages. Probably the worst for me was there was one where like it was an elevator that led up, but outside of it was like go down something, and so I rigged it so that the elevator would go up without me, and I looked down, and it looks like a bottomless pit. And in my head, I went, this might be a troll, but like, have you ever seen? If you ever watched The Office, there's that episode where Michael drives his car into a lake because the GPS said turn right immediately, and he didn't like figure to do it at the light. That's what happened to me, where it's like, no, obviously this is a troll, but I'm like, but it's telling me maybe there's a super cool treasure down there. And
You're
yeah,
like,
I just
what
fell to my
happens
death
if
like an
this-
idiot.
Because there's
You're
a
like, what happens
cave.
if the guy
There's a
knows?
cave that uses that as a solution to the puzzle.
Really? Oh,
Like there's
so
a cave
see,
where
now
you
I'm
have
not
to
going
ride
to trust
an
any of
elevator
those.
up. Because there's a cave where you have to. It rides like the floor up to spikes, so you gotta
Oh,
get
wait,
the
no, I
elevator
did do that.
rise up to dive underneath. So that there's a solution that's like that. So every time you see one, you're like, wait a minute, this could actually be legit.
No, actually, yeah, that one I did do because I actually think that was the. I'm pretty sure that was the one with the cat statue and the rats at the final
yeah,
boss. Yeah.
I feel like I don't trust anybody in general, so I just like every message I read, I'm like, I ain't falling for that motherfucker. He's trying to set me up what he's trying to do. So I've not yet been trolled that bad just because I'm so untrustworthy. But
The
like,
day
at the
this
same
came
time,
out, every like cliff was outlined
Oh,
with
yeah.
try jumping. The entire edge of the cliff.
and
Yeah.
you know they call
With a
people,
blood
though.
stain,
Like-
with a blood stain, like underneath each one.
I hope
So-
the guy who wrote that one that got me to jump down the elevator shaft knows that when I went back to collect my runes, I gave him a disapproval. I hope he saw that, and
Does
he
that
probably
take
fucking was
away
so
health?
happy.
Does
Yeah,
that take
he's
away health? 'Cause
I
that's how
don't think
want
it
to
does.
be.
I wish it did. That would be so good.
This in the middle of a boss fight, you're like one hit away,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden your character randomly dies because someone disliked your meme joke about
Oh, that'd
3
be
hours
so
ago.
good.
Oh, I feel like that would walk because then it's just a gamble. Do you want to get your health or do you want to get disliked?
Then people would
Oh,
dislike
yeah.
helpful messages too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then people would just go on
It'd be
dislike
the-
brigade.
it would be troll central.
Yeah.
Did you hear, by the way? This like just came out today that we're recording this. And I haven't verified all of it, but did you hear the thing about how Japanese players are reading some of the English text wrong? So
No.
Japanese
No.
players are seeing so one of the most common ones, like the memed ones, is fort, comma, night. Obviously a reference to Fortnite. But a lot of Japanese people, I guess, aren't playing the game, so they're seeing Fortnite and they're like setting the timer to night and like going back there and trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, there was apparently a bunch of like Japanese players did not realize that like it was just a Fortnite reference, and they were like, "Oh wait, so what? So, like I got to go to the fort at night, obviously, because there's a lot of messages telling me fort at night."
Oh, like I feel like we're gonna create an international incident due to the message system of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
No, talking about that, like how it's been in the zeitgeist. What's been your proudest accomplishment? You've all talked about different things that you've been happy about, bosses you've beaten, things like that. What's everybody's like peak right now? Like that one moment where you feel like I have mastered this game.
Getting back 15,000 runes.
Wait,
That
so
I-
you weren't able to get those back?
I did.
You were texting me
Stupidly.
about this.
Stupidly. This was right after I beat Margit in 4 tries. I went to the round table hold. And first thing I did was like go up the stairs and saw an area where there was a lot of bloodstains on the bottom. So I was like, look at these idiots not having an assassin ability to drop from higher ledges. They're not using glowstones to like check if it's safe or not. Look at all these idiots. So I jumped down, and then it's the meme, why do I hear boss music? Where a fake player will just appear, and then with a scythe and a staff that shoots magic, so you're screwed far away and up close.
What?
Also, the scythe deals blood damage and ice damage.
What,
So
what I love
just
about
one-shotted me. They one-shotted me.
I
and
love
then-
going in there
yeah.
because you just see the ground is littered with fucking blood, and you're like, "Oh no!"
It becomes apparent what is about to happen to you.
The
Yeah.
messages say, "I want to go home" on the
Yep.
ground. so I walked forward. So, granted, also important part of the story, I did not cash in my runes after fighting Margit. I thought I
That's
was
on
safe
you,
in
man.
the round. I thought it was safe
What were
in the
you
round
doing?
table.
I'm
hold.
serious.
The icon said that this is a place of peace. So
Yeah, but
And
you
you
saw the
trusted
blood on
him?
the ground. I
I-
went back when I saw that
I
shit.
thought
I went
those-
back and like made sure I was good to go before jumping down there.
I thought those idiots didn't use glowstones. I was like, of course you died. You didn't check the fall.
You thought they used glowstones 30 feet away from the dropping point?
Yeah.
I just like the fact
It
also
wasn't.
that
I never claimed to be smart, but yeah, War of Attrition. That's when I mastered my like spear move to like jump back and then lunge forward, because I just was the epitome of just like, all right, hit him once, okay, back up, hit him, back up, and then I eventually got my 15,000 runes back, and then. Granted, so now as soon as I can level up, I level up. I don't hold on. I'm not banking those anymore.
Yeah, good.
at that point you're practically walking around with a bag of money in your backpack. Like you're just kind of asking for something to happen if you're walking around with that much stuff, man. Like when you told me, you put it on the Discord also, and the only thing that was going through my head is like I've never had that many on me at one time. like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 max. We're not getting anywhere close to 10,000, man. I'm buying something, or I'm leveling up as fast as I can. I have not messed with that guy yet because I've been to the round table just for like very specific reasons, just to go visit our little Smith buddy, and then I'm right back out into the open world. But I appreciate your sacrifice to tell me that I don't need to go in there without
Don't do it.
full preparedness.
Don't do it. He took me 10, 15 tries or something. But because I was determined to get him back, I wasn't letting those go.
Word of advice, by the way: once you do beat Godric, go back to the round table and talk to the new person who is at the fireplace.
Oh.
When I say new person, I mean it's someone you've met already. I don't know if I like spoiling that, or if I don't know if that counts as a spoiler.
I feel like this game
you
has a
you
hard
meet
time,
Jellyfish
though.
Lady. She has gone to the round table. So Eric, you need to meet
Yay!
you need to meet Jellyfish Lady before that, because I don't know if she'll be there like before or after. I don't know. I would try to meet Jellyfish Lady, get the jellyfish.
Well, I'm gonna go back though because I did talk to her because I found that State of Grace. It's like a house, and I get what you're talking about. It's like a barn down, ruin. And I just talked to her once though, because at that point I was just kind of like on the main path line, like it was the first night I was playing. But I'm going back to get the tank jellyfish. I gotta see if it's as good as y'all claim it is. But I that's one thing I do want to talk about, like the NPCs in this game and the quest givers and things like that. I really at first was kind of nervous. It's weird to say, but I was worried about missing out on stuff because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, those NPCs that only show up at night. Those NPCs that only show up at this one location during this one time period or whatever." And I've kind of fully embraced it because like I've come across like there was like a witch lady I came across who was just sitting on a rock, and then I went back during the day and there she was not there anymore. And like I'm kind of fully embracing this kind of like weird, wacky, just kind of a just come across things when you come across kind of vibe. Yeah. And not trying to min-max this game at all, and like not trying necessarily to meet everybody, just kind of really making each encounter more special, I guess is the right word for it.
But with that witch lady, like that's the thing, she is the one who gives you the power to have summons like from the Ashen summons. So that's a nuts thing to me. If you don't meet her, you can't do that. And that is so important for me in boss battles. And just the idea that I would not be able to do that is like crazy. Because that's, again, I go in and tank with the jellyfish. I have not beaten a boss where I was allowed to summon where I didn't summon.
She didn't summon for me initially at first. I'd turned the clock to night. I had to walk into... So I was, like, reading up on, like, how do I get this lady to appear? And they're like, yeah, she glitches out. The key is to just walk into Tree Sentinel and let him wreck you. And then go back to the Site of Grace and she'll appear. And it works, so...
It's been funny, by the way. I beat Tree Sentinel last night. I've kind of been going back to certain areas because I've beaten Godric, who was like if Margit is like the first big boss, Godric is like the first like really story focused one. Mm-hmm. And they kind of go into it actually at the round table after you beat him. There's some interesting like lore stuff you could talk to people about. But since then, I've been actually exploring further out. And actually, I kind of want to mention that one thing I do find interesting is that yes, it is very open, but also not the north. They basically relegate you to like the southern half of the map. And I know that there is a way to get around the castle, but the game is sort of saying like, look, you need to be able to like get past Margit and Godric before you can really explore the northern
Oh,
half of the map.
oh, you can go further east. You don't want to go further east. That
Oh,
is a
I have a
hellscape.
I've got my notes here. I like literally again, I'm just writing this like off the cuff. I wrote, "Oh my god, I am not equipped for Caelid." Like I was just like, "Oh, this is bad. This
So did you
everything's
get
poison and
there?
fire."
So did you get there naturally? Like, did you ride there, or did
Yeah.
you? Okay, because me and
See, I
Eric
did not.
went there another way.
I
How'd you
opened up
guys
a
get there?
chest, being like, "Oh, cool! Look, a chest.
Yes.
I'm gonna get an upgrade." And then next thing you know, I'm locked in a mine, and I'm like, "Oh no, well, that's okay. I'm in an open world game. I'll fast travel." And it just straight up says like, "Fast travel not available here, motherfucker." And at that point, I think I had on me like 2,000 some runes. I was pretty low level. I think I was maybe like 14, 15. So that's enough, to do some upgrading. And
That's good.
dude, that was one of those repeat deaths of like just desperately trying to get the souls and progress them maybe 10 feet because I was just getting one-shotted all the way out of that mine until I was able to get to a state of grace that allowed me to fast travel the hell out of there.
I did
But
the
yeah,
same
that
thing.
chest,
Yeah.
that chest, man.
I walked out of the mine to see what's so bad about here because I saw that I couldn't fast travel, so I assumed I had to get back there on foot because I didn't have my horse yet. So
I can't
was
believe
like,
you got
oh,
that far in the
God.
game without the horse.
I was like, oh god, I am screwed. I walked out of the mine, saw a blood red sky, saw a Lovecraftian like environment where with like enemies that was like giant hearts that were just pumping oxygen. There were ghosts that looked like the Burger King just shooting stuff at me. So I found out eventually because I just like bolted through as far as I could get, and then I checked my map again. It's like, okay, I can fast travel again, and then got back. So I think I have outlined like just skulls on that entire border. Like, bad. do not go here.
Do not pass line. Do
Dude.
not collect money. Do not go. No, yeah, I got there like I stumbled into that pretty early on also, and it's the first for me. That was my first like repeat death situation where I was just like I said, I was progressing my souls like maybe 10 feet every life, just trying to get it out of that damn mine. I have not been back either. I'm terrified.
No.
It's going to be a while before I get the balls to go back up that way.
That was
But you are right. It does kind of limit you to that side of the map. You kind of have to go out of your way to get out of there. I guess the next question I would ask is, you mentioned story. There was a lot of talk about the George R. R. Martin being on the writing staff and stuff like that for this game. And at first I was, there was a little cutscene gives you a little bit of story at the beginning of the game. And I put on the Discord for Michael and Nick. I was just like, I feel like this guy was here for like half a day. Like there was just, it's a From Software game. It seems like a From Software ward. It's very much in line with with Dark Souls. You seem to be a little bit farther than me and Michael. Does it start to open up more and give you more of a story and ward building, or is it still very cryptic like it is now for me? Like it just feels really weird that they brought in somebody who obviously was probably very expensive, and I just so far I have like you guys are doing your own thing still. Why did you pay this man?
Well, to answer like your question, no. There's not a lot of like story stuff. There's again, it's and I mean that is the FromSoft thing where it's a lot of like just talking to NPCs and reading item descriptions is how you actually find out like what's really going on. And again, like I don't think this is really a spoiler, but like and maybe you could actually talk to him in the round table and I just missed him. But like after Godric, I talked to one of the people in the round table who I hadn't met yet, and you can ask him about the holders of the Elden Ring and like who they were.
Nah.
But and I mean like that's I don't really know the George R. R. Martin contribution. It seems like he even acknowledged. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like yesterday, he posted a blog post, very very short one, and basically said I was proud to have a small contribution to this game. So even he's like, yeah, I walked in and said like, hey, you got like some tits? And they were like, well, we could add some. And they're like, cool. I'm George R.R. Martin. Peace. And then he fucking left. I think that's just George R.R. Martin's like contributions to most things. I won't shit on that because I've heard that like Game of Thrones went to shit after he left, and that's why. So
as someone who I can tell you right now, when they were following his material a little bit more closely, it was actually fine. I read a couple of those books. I didn't finish them, but I didn't finish the series or nothing. But when they left his established writing, things went bad, brother. The shit went bad. It went south quick. So, I mean, that was just one thing. You know, I'm kind of I guess the book guy. I like me some books, and I was like, yeah, what's this guy going to really contribute? You know, it just when I got into it, I was like, this feels like like a From Software game. It feels like Dark Souls. It doesn't have anything that steps out and strikes me as a George R.R. Martin concept. Even none of the characters strike me as that.
I believe his. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, sorry, I will leave this. It's just like now it's gnawing at me that like I do think his contribution probably was that he went into the office. You know, they invited him in. It's like, you know, you got any ideas? And yeah, he probably said like, well, do they have titties? And they were like, well, no, it's about a ring, so like we've got fingers. He's like, can fingers try butthole? And they were like, I mean, I guess we could add that option. Sure, George.
Because
by the way, the theming, they said like it really feels like they said, okay, the game is called Elden Ring. What does a ring go on? Well, it goes on a finger. Got it. Boom. Done. Everything's a finger. Everything in this game is related to fingers
and hands and.
I was hoping that there was like a turning point in which all of a sudden like there's a lore drop and like everyone's like, man, this is why they hired this expensive ass writer. And it kind of makes me even more happier at the concept that they stuck his name on this shit. And it was just there's no contribution visible.
From my understanding, is he wrote all the world building, like everything that happened before. Like he detailed like the lands between and Queen Marika and the six demigods, her children, and I believe that and like the factions, because there is a very, very loose faction system in this game where there's different, like, the demi-humans and, like, what we've seen so far, soldier-wise, is, like, the soldiers of Godric, who are stalking that area. So I imagine, once we get further, we'll see a lot more of, like, the warring factions kind of, like, competing for territory, in a sense. Because that's, like, this whole... What I gather from the lore is that, like, they've been banished here after the Elden Ring split, and they all got a piece of it, which made them powerful, but kind of disfigured them in a way. So, I imagine, like, they're fighting over this land, which in the grand scheme of things will mean absolutely nothing who wins or not. It's literally just a power struggle for the sake of having a power struggle. And, like, I watched a Waypoint discuss like the trailer and everything, and one of them said that it seems like George, because she reads a lot of like fantasy novels and everything, she specifically said that like George R.R. Martin is very into like the specificity of things. So like it seems like the specificity of how like all of this went down seems to be like his contribution of like the world building and stuff.
He does do that. He does a good job in his books of like establishing a history to places, and so I could see that maybe being his contribution. And don't take it like the wrong way. Like I'm not saying it's a make or break thing. Like if I never get like a deep lore drop, it was just something that because of the name attached to it, I was really anticipating a little bit more. But I can see what you're saying, Michael. That there is especially in that opening cutscene, and you can kind of see it in the way the world is structured. There's a sense of like past to everything. You can kind of like wonder what was happening here before I showed up, and he does do that well in his books. So maybe that is his contribution. Or maybe Tanner's right. He was just like, let's flash some titties around, let's see what happens.
And I feel bad reducing him to that. I know he's not just like, hey, here's boobs in fantasy, but like at the same time, come on, like he's known for two things: boobs in fantasy and taking forever to write a book. Those are like his most famous things. I'm sorry, George. You seem like a really nice guy, but like those are your things.
I
He
was gonna
strikes
say
me
his
as a person that
description of
doesn't
food
bottle.
makes you want to stop reading the chapter and just go get something to eat. Like, yeah, this plate sounds delicious.
He strikes me as a person that doesn't bottle. Like, I don't think he gets offended at the fact that he's the titty fantasy guy. Like, I think he's like, yeah, okay, cool. You know. Um, just moving on here.
Sorry, just like oh, we should get away from the boobs and fantasy talk.
There's no
Which is
soft
fair.
landing from that conversation. You just kind of have to make a hard segue and just be like, and yeah, I'm trying to find like the best way to move that from there. So let's
Speaking
just make
of
a
the
hard...
Erd Tree avatar, you know, which
Yeah,
by the way, that's one of my favorite moments. You guys fight him.
Yes.
No, I
That's
have
one of
not
my
seen
favorite
him.
moments. That's such an epic like Shadow of the Colossus type fight.
Really is. Like, seeing just like a enemy made out of like tree, and that was the moment where I switched up my weaponry, because at that point I was rocking like a sword and I was rocking like a short sword and shield. That's the moment I went like thrusting sword, because I realized I could get much better range on like horseback with that. So that was where I really changed up my playstyle, and then realized, oh, I think I just... Then that was the moment I was like, wait a minute, I can have this and a shield equipped without becoming a heavy load. So that was the moment where I like shift up my playstyle a bit. Yeah.
What is everybody's like go-to weapon right now? I know you're saying the thrusting sword and a shield. Tanner, what's your like go-to weapon right now?
It was a mace, but after getting chastised by everyone playing this game at my job, everyone has told me to use like the blood dagger you get from killing the first like fake hunt. I keep wanting to use Bloodborne terms. I keep wanting to call like other players hunters and call runes blood echoes, but the other tarnish, the first one you meet, like the NB or like CPU controlled one, you get like a blood dagger from him, and I have been using that, and I've leveled that up a bit. That's the only thing is, and I've only played one other Souls game, which is Bloodborne. But there's a couple things about Bloodborne I like better. Number one, I love that aesthetic about Bloodborne. The Victorian era meets not just Lovecraft. What's the Bram Stoker? Like
Yeah.
all those meshed together. Love that aesthetic so much.
Lots of plague masks and
Yeah,
yo,
and also
yeah,
I liked
yeah.
the weapons in Bloodborne a lot. I haven't really found a weapon in Elden Ring that I love. So I'm still kind of working on
Yeah.
it, but I have been operating with like basically a one-handed weapon in my right hand and then a shield in the other. Which, by the way, I'm using a tortoise shell as a shield.
Yes.
Have you seen this, Michael?
I have not, but I'm
It's
instantly
so
on
good.
board.
And I don't mean stat wise. I think stat wise I've actually got better shields, but I'm never gonna change it because it's just a giant tortoise shell. So when you're riding on the horse, it looks like you're like a ninja turtle just riding around in this like forbidden wasteland. And yeah, then I'm just like holding a fucking turtle shell like the Captain America shield. It rules. It's just this giant empty turtle shell, and it's in a weird place. I remember getting it, and it's like a bizarre area where you have to like finagle yourself by jumping in a weird way. So like I understand why people haven't like found this yet. I just tried too many times and finally got it, and it was like, yeah, you get a turtle shell, and so yeah, riding around, I love it so much that I just have this turtle shell on my back.
Wonderful.
I have my katana that I get with the samurai class. I've been just kind of really focusing on upgrading that, and then actually I got into using the claw in the offhand instead of a shield. Because I don't do a lot of blocking anyway. Mm-hmm. So the claw gives me almost like a quick like 1-2 punch. One thing that I've learned via YouTube videos is that it's the combo increases damage as you go through the combo, but it kind of works well for me with that offhanded weapon to get the 1-3 hits in with the katana and then kind of finish them real quick with the claw. But the concept of being a samurai ninja turtle circa TMNT 3, the worst Ninja Turtle movie to ever exist. This is true. It's too much for me. I have to do this. I have to hunt down this turtle shell now and just pretend like I am crappy Raphael in the worst Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that ever existed.
God, that first Ninja Turtles movie is so good. I
was very young when I saw that movie, and I was so happy that Raphael yells "damn" in the first 5 minutes.
He yelled it a lot.
He all the time he was yelling damn.
Yeah.
So like little like 7-year-old Eric was always trying to like sneak dams in when no one was paying attention because it was the most badass thing ever. And I would defend the second movie. The second movie's good. I like that second movie, but
I'm not a fan, and I'm not trying to like just make fun of it because like, oh, it's not the original, but like I did watch it and I was like, this is not as good, man. And I know part of it is because that first movie is like dark and violent, and they got complaints, and they were like, okay, we'll definitely tone down the violence a little bit.
It's a different vibe. I love me some Ninja Turtles. They were my childhood, and like I would never let that go. But I agree with you. Like the first movie is a quote unquote I think a good movie. The second movie is a passable Ninja Turtles movie. I cannot in any way understand how that third atrocity happened, and I will never forgive them for it.
They saw the arcade.
It feels like it would have cost a lot more with that period setting.
Have you seen the costumes that they use?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's where the money came from. They were like, "Well, you're not getting any more money for this." It's like, well, we got to cut the budget somewhere.
They look like. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got a pitch. Miyazaki, FromSoft, like post-apocalyptic New York because mutagen is everywhere, and fucking you do a character creator of like a new mutant, and like the turtles and all the villains are around.
Yes.
So there is
and then you get George R. R. Martin to come in, and he can do a couple touch-ups.
Turtle Titties is the porn parody that we've all wanted.
Finally,
there is a IDW comic going on right now called The Last Ronin that is basically just a post-apocalyptic, dark, futuristic Ninja Turtles story. But I will pay all the money in the world for this game, but then I would not be satisfied unless there was a George R. R. Martin cut that you just it's just the game.
That's what I'm thinking.
They're just turtle titties.
Do you remember they tried to add a female turtle in like live action?
Okay,
and they gave her boobs. And George R. R. Martin would see that concept and he'd be like, "That's the main character." And they're like, "Well, we've got like 4 classic characters that people like. No, she is the main character."
There is, you're going to have to live with this now. This is what we're talking about. The show you're referencing is a live action show that came out. I want to say it was towards the end of like Ninja Turtles like hype train. Like the cartoon,
he was way past the hype train.
Like
we tried to like blend them with Power Rangers. Like
there was a crossover. Yeah. But yes, there was a female turtle added that did for some reason have turtle boobs. That show is amazing. If we ever were to get big enough to have like a Patreon or something like that, I would pay people to let me do a show just based around me reviewing that show. There is
listeners,
the
please.
budget. You want to talk about budget cuts, all right? Their turtle van looks to be like someone just went down to the Army surplus store and bought themselves like one of the old raggedy looking Humvees from like the Desert Storm and painted that thing in like green Ninja Turtle goo color, and just that's the turtle van. It's just this like Desert Storm era Humvee that they got from the Army Navy store. It is a masterpiece of cinema. There's nothing wrong with it. There is sequences in which like Splinter does like from beyond, like Splinter's up in the afterlife and he's like talking to the turtles from like this, and you can tell that it's just like someone went into like Microsoft Paint and did cloud of the colors all over where he's at. Oh, that show is amazing.
God, we gotta watch this.
I would all the money. Or you go completely the opposite direction and you just let George R. R. Martin write the entire game, and it's just Game of Thrones just for Ninja Turtles. So it's just Raphael like stabbing Donatello and just being like for the Dominoes, because you have to have the random product placement, because if you're not selling pizza through this Ninja Turtles game, you've done fucked up.
Hey, Domino's fought for that product placement. Which makes sense.
I ate so much damn Domino's as a kid. I was like, yeah, Domino's. That's the food group that you have to have to be a Ninja Turtle. When I was a child, I would walk by sewer drains and like yell into the sewer drains, trying to get attention of the Ninja Turtles. I was obsessed as a young man. So yes, if there was ever a reason for people to like try to help our show grow, it's just know that if we ever were to get big enough to have things like a Patreon and stuff, this is the high quality content you would get. You would not get more video game related stuff. It would just be me being like, "Welcome to Turtle Talk." We're on episode 17 of
You've been
this
trying to
live
get
action
Thank you for getting us. Thank you for getting our Patreon to $100,000 a month, so we can talk about the shittiest Ninja Turtles episodes you've ever seen in your life.
My favorite thing is if you follow the Ninja Turtles subreddit, there's a lot of people on there who don't quite understand that show is a piece of shit. And so, like, you'll have, like, people post random things on there. Like, me, when I first got on that subreddit, I'm like, oh, shit, there's a Ninja Turtles subreddit. Of course there is. And I was like, someone had posted something on there. I went on there like, yeah, can you believe they made this bullshit? And I was the only one in a comment train of like 35 comments that was like, this fucking sucked. I got downvoted to hell. And I'm like, you people are delirious. You people have completely drank the Kool-Aid if you do not understand that this is a piece of shit. But this is the content, people, that I truly, all this video game is just a shell game for me. I'm just trying to get it, shell game, this high quality joke. It's all a shell game for me to try to get a Ninja Turtle podcast.
That and a wrestling podcast.
Oh man, we could combine the two. I did last story. I went to a comic convention where Kevin Eastman, co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, was at.
Nice. Yeah.
And I was at a panel with Kevin Eastman. It was about a 45-minute panel. I was about 30 minutes in to the panel. It was a fun panel. He was talking about the creation of the Ninja Turtles, showed some art and stuff. And then he was really very excited about this new Michael Bay project that was just announced. That he was going to show some new stuff from the Michael Bay project. And right when he put up the new screen of the Michael Bay project and what the Turtles looked like, I stood up. I was like the fourth row. Like I was in front of a lot of people. And I stood up. I said, nope. And I stormed myself right out the back of the thing. And I can be vouched for by this because Michael's wife was with us and she was there and watched me storm out of this Ninja Turtle panel in the middle, right in front of Kevin Eastman. And he just got a little bit of pop. I would do that to Kevin Eastman. Did you see that movie, man?
No, because it looked like shit, in fairness.
Exactly.
But
I would storm out in front of Kevin Eastman. I damn right I did. I said nope, and I got my ass up and walked my ass to the back.
I gotta give you credit because I don't know if I could do that to like a creator presents like, here's the new thing I'm excited about, and just immediately disapprove to the point that I just leave in protest. I honestly don't think I could do that. I genuinely do.
I don't think I would. I'd be frozen, like, just like my fake enthusiastic smile, like half open, like. Maybe this will be all right.
I was done, brother. I saw that and I was like, no. I said, no, sir. Good day, sir. And walked my ass right out of that panel, never looked back.
Did you say, Mr. Eastman, have you no shame?
No, because I feel like at that point, then, like, I guess, like, defending my actions a little bit. I guess, like, I feel like that's crossing the Rubicon at that point. Like, now he has to engage with you. You know, at least then he could just act like I had to go to the bathroom or something, even though it was fairly clear why I was leaving. I think I gave him an out, so he didn't know that I was like so fucking disgusted by this piece of shit. That's my random Kevin Eastman story. I've had opportunities to meet Kevin Eastman in the years since, and I always have in the back of my mind a slight bit of fear that he might remember this. And so he's met like millions of people. There's no way in the world he would remember this. But like, I know. So like, I feel like I would get up there and talk to him. And like in the back of my head the whole time I would feel like just in crushing guilt. You know, here I am trying to act nice to this man that I stormed out of his panel back in like the year 2000 and fucking whatever, 11, 12, whatever it was.
I just want to note that when I brought up the Ninja Turtles show with the girl turtle, I thought I was going to have to like explain what that was. I did
No.
not expect to be talking to someone who walked out on Kevin Eastman presenting a Ninja Turtles concept art because he
You-
disapproved so much.
You sir, you have, much like, I'm gonna try to walk it back around. Much like me and Michael were tricked by that chest in Elden Ring. You sir were tricked into being like, you want to talk about some motherfucking Ninja Turtles, dude? We'll talk about
Actually,
some motherfucking.
speaking of teleports, did you guys get teleported to like the big castle where there's like a stone giant? Have you guys been there?
No.
No.
That
No.
place rules because so there's a giant like stone guy and you can take him out. I mean like you're definitely not supposed to be there, but like you can take him out and then I did that after a couple tries. But also just looking around this environment, there is like a massive dead dragon just like on one of the castle walls, like it like slumped over.
Ooh.
And yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the hell happened here? And there's sorry, Eric, what's up?
No. I'm not trying to cut you off. But that's what they paid fucking George R. Martin for, because he knows
Yeah.
what happened to that damn dragon.
Goddamn right.
Continue. Continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You just see like the bodies of the showrunners of the Game of Thrones TV show that ran it into the ground, like right next to the dragon.
This was all a project just for George R. R. Martin to take shots at those bastards.
It's
Like,
really
the
weird
people-
how two of the bosses are named like Benoff and Weiss or whatever their names were.
That would
the people
be
are
amazing.
the people at From Software are looking at translators, being like, "Are you sure that's what he's saying?" Yeah, for some reason he's really big on making sure these are the names. We're not entirely sure why, but he's really important to him.
He said, "Make them the worst bosses in the game, easiest to beat, 1 health. Make them a joke." Were his exact words. Make them a joke like they made my work a joke. Is what he said.
If you can make them piss themselves when you show up, let's try to do that too.
You're gonna read some lore and you're gonna find out that was the soldier of Godric when you first leave.
Yeah.
It's just, oh man, that's great. Just a couple other things I want to talk about here. The decision to do an open world here, it gave them so many different, just kind of options to fuck you over. There was a portion in which I was riding my horse. I was minding my own business. I was approaching a castle, and a big fucking giant with a bow and arrow killed me from what looked like 10 miles away. I saw the thing coming towards me, and me being a dumbass, I was like, man, that's weird. I wonder what this is. I just kind of sat there and watched it, and by the time I realized, it just wiped me the fuck out. But
I didn't see him fully in the distance. I thought that was a ballista. So I was like, oh, sweet, a castle raid. So I donned my horse and ran to it. That's why I saw, no, it's a giant with a bow and arrow.
Just a giant with a bow and arrow. Just, like I said, I guess, not closing, but heading towards the end here. Just so damn impressive with this thing. I am very interested to see what the tail end of this game is. I want to know how many people stick with it. We know that lots of people have bought the thing. We know that the game's been vastly successful. But my big wonder is, like, next month, how many people are still invested in this? How many people got their ass kicked for 10 hours and then they bailed?
I kind of want to walk in. Sorry, I kind of want to walk into a GameStop and see how many used copies are at a local one already.
Yeah, but because I feel like the hype was so heavy, and it caught so many people and got so many people excited about it. I do wonder how many people are like next month are going to still be chopping away at it, because these are not games that you beat in a week.
No,
these are, unless you are God tier Dark Soul player. This is not a game that you're just wiping out. This is a game that's I feel like this is a game for this year I'm going to be coming back to over and over and over again, and chopping away at. So I do wonder how many of these people who have been like new players who have been brought back in, brought into this kind of game, I wonder how many of them actually stick with it.
78 people have marked this game as beat on How Long to Beat. So
78?
No, 78.
Okay, so what's the qualification? Like how much fact checking is How Long to Beat doing?
Not much. To be fair,
Because
That's actually a good question. I don't know what their fact checking process is.
Because I sit there and I go, like, I do not doubt people have beat this thing, but 78 even to me seems high. You know, I mean, I feel like even if you're like a amazingly good Dark Souls player, there's also a portion of this game that just takes time. You know, learning repetition on things and stuff like that. So I have a that just seems high to me for 78. I was thinking like 10 to 15 at best, but you know,
I, for reference, have played like 24 hours. I think now, close to 24 hours. And again, I've only beaten I've beaten Godric, and I've explored a bit north of the castle since then. But I mean, I
I'm
I
at
will say
16.
that yeah, the one thing I will say that I have noticed is that, like, looking at the map, and I won't. I'm trying not to spoil what's past the castle. It's not like some revolutionary thing. I'm still trying not to say anything, but like, I do now look at the map, like the world map, and think to myself, how much of this is water? Because the southwestern portion you can see on your map, even in early stages, is like all water. And having gone past the castle, I was at a point where I'm like, oh shit, how much of this is just ocean water? Like, and like the map makes it look big. Like, this is not to dismiss how big the world is, because it's clearly massive, and the fact that it like is as detailed as it is, being such a massive world, is astounding. But again, it's one of those things where now I do look at that map and I'm like, oh shit, that is quite a bit more water than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I've made this statement in the past. I am all for open world games being all kill or no fill. So like, I agree with you because when I first got into it, and especially when you go to the round table and you have to fast travel back to the ward, you have to scroll all the way back across this empty part of the map that you haven't been to yet. But I'm okay with a small or open ward if it's so crafted like it seems to be. Um, that's my biggest pet peeve for open world games in general is I don't like, if I don't gain anything by driving 15 minutes to a location that nothing happened on the way there. So like, to me that's almost a plus. If I know that more of the ward is handcrafted and feels more special, I'm okay with a small open ward. But I do kind of understand what you're saying because I haven't gone like all the way around the southern tip and stuff. There is a lot of spaces where it's just water and rocks out in the middle of nowhere. So I can kind of see what you're saying there. Let's get into like the closing thoughts. Tanner, you're our guest. What's your closing thoughts here on Elden Ring?
Well, actually, it's funny to circle back to the beginning. I had a very similar experience where I was excited for this game, but the hype did not hit me until like the week before. For some reason, the week before, I'm like, oh shit, like what if this is a. And in fairness, it was helped by the reviews coming in, and I mean, we were joking at work of like, well, what's going to happen when the reviews comes in and it's just sevens across the board. Not even like low scores, just like, yeah, it's fine. And then the reviews came out and they were all like, no, this is like 10 out of 10. Uh, this genuinely already feels like one of the best games I've ever played, and I try not to use that lightly because I don't know if you've noticed this, Michael, based on our text. I don't play a lot of like modern games. I am not caught
Mm-hmm.
up on a lot of things. Uh, but like, I really look at this as like, wow, this is just oh god, I'm gonna use the worst fucking pun. I apologize. It is a game changer. It truly is. This makes everything like I feel like you can't do an open world. Well, I said this after Zelda, and they still kept doing it. But I'm like, you can't do an open world that is like vapid and devoid of actually interesting stuff after this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I also just played Pokemon Legends Arceus and liked it a lot, despite how empty that world is. So who the fuck am I to even talk?
No,
But
I think that you have a good point there. I want to jump in real quick and just say that I think this reinforces the lessons of Breath of the Wild. Obviously, they were in development, at the same time. They didn't have, Elden Ring didn't have the advantage of like coming in and being like, we're gonna make it like Breath of the Wild. But I think it shows that you're gonna see more of this style of open world game and hopefully less of the, you know, million map, the Assassin's Creed style where it's just all
the Ubisoft shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like where it's just a shit ton of things on a map and you just go run around and do a shit ton of repeat fetch quests and stuff like that. If that's what this game kind of reinforces, then that's worth it in itself.
Absolutely.
I also just a few last thoughts and then I'm done. But number one, this is just like, hey, I'm glad I played Pokemon Arceus because, or like glad I played it before this because, whew, I feel bad for every game coming out after this. Like this is like, all right, we have Goaty in March of 2022. We already have like Game of the Year probably. Obviously leave everything open, but like for me, wow, this is a hell of a game. Um,
It's gonna be
fuck
hard to
Margit.
top.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to top. Fuck Margit. I hope he fucking dies. Just I hate Margit so much. He looks like the titular Green Knight from the film The Green Knight. Which, by the way, I don't think received a nomination for best cinematography. What the hell is wrong with you, Academy? Uh,
If
and
you want to talk
I
about the
hate Margit
Academy
so
Awards,
much.
we can talk about that too, about how there's a fan category award now, which kind of eliminates the
That's
whole purpose of why
the
we have the
dumbest shit
Academy
I've ever heard in
Awards.
my life.
Yes.
And I hope Malignant takes it. I'm like, yes, please God, don't let Spider-Man win this. I'm so sick of hearing about Spider-Man. And I say this as someone who fucking loves Spider-Man. I'm so sick of it. I hope Malignant takes it. I just hope that I hope every year now at the Oscars we get a shit post win and they just start calling it like the shit post award.
No,
Uh,
no, they would never do that. I think you give them way too much credit. They'll go up there and announce it genuine. They'll be like, and
Yeah.
the fan chosen award goes to. Like, they will not acknowledge that this is a bullshit voting system.
You're right. You're right, Eric. I hope they like play it as straight as they do the other awards. I hope they play it as straight as like
Yes.
best actor and like best supporting actors and all that shit. But yeah, to just wrap up, uh, last thoughts. Ran into Tibia Mariner. Just like didn't realize that was a boss. Killed on the first try. That was like the weakest boss in the game, but that was fine. And yeah, I don't know that I will ever feel as proud of myself for beating Godric. Like I'll never feel as proud of myself for an accomplishment in a video game as I did beating Godric after only 4 tries. Especially because I was doing jump attacks, which just looked so cool. I just felt like, yeah, fuck you. And shout out to Jeffrey the jellyfish, or what was it, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey.
I think we established that it's Jeffrey, but it is a lady. So
Yeah,
Lady
but Lady
Jellyfish.
Jeffrey, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's
shout
fine.
out to Jellyfish. Don't let the sheeple convince you the wolves are the way to go. Okay? Ironically, yes, the sheeple are standing the wolves. I know that's weird, but these are interesting times.
I just like you know what? If you just make a sign, just whatever events you go to going forward, just have signs. Just be like, don't let the sheep or tell you that the wolves are the best way to go. Jeffrey is the true hero.
All
Yeah.
hell the jellyfish.
Yes, somewhere there's going to be. AEW has so many video game signs now in the crowd. It's almost got to the point it's distracting. But there's
The
going
Final
to be
Fantasy wars are ongoing.
oh man, like people got feelings. And then every once in a while, there's like a guy who's just there for just to cause chaos. Like he's just on there being like, you know what, Super Mario Brothers is not as good as Donkey Kong 64. Y'all can go fuck off. It's just like, what is this man doing? Take this man's seat away. But there's going to be so many Elden Ring signs in the next few weeks. Revolution's on this weekend, and I'm just going to watch it and just look for Elden Ring signs because it's going to be just so many. But yes, Michael, closing thoughts on Elden Ring.
This game's incredible. It combines everything I love about like open world games. Like it combines some of my 3 favorites, like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Shadow of the Colossus, and Skyrim, all in like a blender with like Dark Souls like unforgivingness as well as like some From Software humor in a way, because it's a surprisingly funny game. Like just walking up to a giant and just getting stomped in the ground will never not make me laugh.
Yeah.
But
But I don't want. I just want to interject and say one last thing, which is just because you mentioned it. We did not mention that. Like we keep talking about Breath of the Wild. This game is heavily influenced by Shadow of the Colossus.
yeah,
This
Oh,
is
yes.
like
Yes.
this is another Shadow. Like this is just Shadow of the Colossus with like
saw,
more to do and explore.
I saw a lot of
I
people.
could see that being their main source of inspiration here.
I
'cause like
believe they said it in an interview. I don't think
Yeah.
that's like just something we're inferring. I believe they said like, oh yeah, we love Shadow of the
I believe
Colossus.
it. I heard people say, "Wait a minute, this is just a sequel to Dragon's Dogma, too." So,
Hey.
Uh,
No, I mean, I think Shadow's Colossus has to be their primary source. Like I said, Breath of the Wild and them would have been in development at the same time, so they probably poured what they could, but it's got Shadow of the Colossus has to be their main like inspiration. And you can kind of tell even in the war design, like some of the enemies in the war design is very Shadow of the Colossus like. So yeah, that's a very good.
I think I said to you, Michael, I was like, this game is like Breath of the Wild with Shadow of the Colossus vibes, like or Breath of the Wild like that world with the Shadow Colossus like atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Michael. We interrupted you.
Yes, I apologize, Michael.
I'm also going to bring up a tweet from a listener from at State of the Save. Thank you to Charlie Murray for his tweeting us. I asked, what do you like about Elden Ring so far to our listeners? And he responded, according to my quote-unquote progress in the main story trophy, I am 33% complete with the game. And yet I've played for well over 50 hours just exploring and stuff. It's a glorious game, and I wish it will never end. But alas, someday it will. Why do you gotta twist the knife at the end? But it's gonna be a long time before I see any resemblance of an end of this game, because I'm just gonna... I don't even know if I'll finish it, but if I can just keep exploring and having as rich of a time as I'm having in this open world for another like 50, 60 hours. Like, this isn't going to be a game I finish this year. This is going to be like, I equate it with Skyrim. This will be like, come back to it every couple months and be like, oh yeah, this is my game that I only eat, sleep, and play this game for an entire week. And then
it's
drop
like
it for a little bit and then come back.
Exactly. It's like a comfort food kind of game. First of all, thank you.
In a weird way, yes. It is a comfort food kind of game.
Mm-hmm. First off, thank you for your response. And also, he's apparently farther than us, so he's sitting here being like these amateurs.
Well, we also have to play Psychonauts too, so that's even a little bit of time.
Listen, that's clearly the reason why we're not already completed. It would be like 80 people that's beat this game if it wasn't for the fact it was so damn dedicated that we have to make sure that we also play games for the show. So really, it's because of y'all. Which fits our normal persona, blaming the listeners for reasons why we do things. No, but thank you for your response. And hopefully more people, if you want to go on that post and add your feelings on Elden Ring, we would read them on the Psychonauts show before the game talk. One of I guess the feeling that I keep getting on this game, and you guys have all your points I agree with. I have no disagreements with anything y'all say. This game feels like the first actual game of this generation to me. This was when I was playing it. I was like, this is the reason why I have an Xbox Series X. I know you can play the PS4. I get that, but just something about it, the way it looks, the way it runs. It's like this is going to be like when we look back on this generation. What's one of your major hits? And I feel like this has to be one of them. Also. It's a hell of a way to start a year. I agree with I think Tanner's statements on that. This is a game, but as someone who between playing things for the show and just having kind of a hectic life, I think this will be kind of similar thing to you, Michael. Where I'm going to be playing this in spurts and coming back to it. But one thing that I kind of realized playing last night, even I think I'm fine that even if I never completely beat this game. Just the process of chipping away at it and every small little bits of I got a key to a door I needed last night. That's all I did. I played for an hour and I got a key that I needed. But that little bitty accomplishment was enough to be like, hey, I'm making progress, man. I'm chipping away at it. And it's something that's kind of missing in a lot of games these days. We talk a little bit of shit about the Ubisoft games and things like that. A lot of games just kind of give you things. You go and you play the game and you experience all the content, and then when you're done, you're done. And the only thing it really asks of you at bare minimum is time.
Few games make refreshing. You earn things like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's refreshing to have a game that actually is like, we're not going to just show you this content. We're fine with you not seeing it if you can't get to it. And it's just really refreshing, and it's it brings back the memories of a younger day where I was just chopping away at a game that I couldn't master. And, just this slow beating down of I finally beat that one boss. And it's something that I don't get to experience a lot outside of this particular franchise. And I know it's a new franchise, but to me it's still a Souls game.
It's a Souls game.
It's a
I
Souls
think
game.
it's fair to call it a franchise. Or we'll see. I'm curious if they do an Elden Ring 2 or they like take the Bloodborne route where they're like, this was a one-time thing.
I kind of hope it is a one-time thing because between this and Bloodborne, it seems like they're pretty damn talented at making one-time games, and I'm the older I get, the more I wish less things were franchises. Sometimes I just want a really cool experience and then move on, especially if you have a good team that has a good like artistic vision. I trust them to go make another cool thing.
I see this as like the peak of their vision, where building up from like a Dark Souls standpoint. So I kind of want their next thing to be wildly different. Which the rumors are saying they're going back to Armored Core, which awesome, bring that back. So
Well, it's gonna be it's
gonna be it.
well, it's gonna be wildly different because they're gonna be incorporating Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael into their next game, and they got to bring Georgie on board, and they got to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with like Casey Jones and the Foot Ninja, and debate whether like we're gonna have Splinter be a human transformed into a rat or a rat who is transformed into a human-like creature, which is a debate you have to have with every adaptation of TMNT.
So there is no debate on that. There's a definitive decision. But if you would like to listen to that, you must subscribe to our Patreon and check out our new show, Total Talk. There's probably already a podcast called Total Talk. I'm pimping it for them.
There's like 6.
Yeah. There's more than that, dude. None of them are.
Yeah.
None of them are as good as ours. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
No.
I mean, you've got in the past 10 minutes of Ninja Turtle Talk significantly better content than any of the other podcasts. No, but I think, I mean, it's exciting to have a studio that doesn't need to rely on the franchise to kind of be the thing. Like, it's just, I know this studio and I trust their work. And something completely different from them would be fascinating, especially if it was like a crazy, a mech kind of game or something like that would be, a mech game that was heavy on difficulty would be fascinating to me.
Yes.
Like, having to sit there and be like, guys, I spent 3 hours last night trying to manage my heat index. I keep overheating every time I go into any area that's not a Arctic environment. I would do that in a heartbeat, man.
I've kind of been in the mood for like a big mech game recently, but none of them have been like doing it for me. So I'm like, this is a studio that will come in swinging with a really awesome one.
Yes. Did anybody get the deluxe edition of this game? Is there there was DLC tied to that? I was just wondering what that was.
I got a pre-order bonus that was an adventure guide, but it only covers Limgrave, and then says you can buy the full guide later. So
okay, cool, bro.
It's basically an instruction book. It tells you this is what these items do. I'm like, great, an instruction book.
In the era of YouTube, when I can just be like, "What's this shit do?" and I type it in YouTube, and there's some guy who's like, "Hey, man, this is what all this stuff does."
But on PS5, it's listed as a separate game, so I can't boot that and Elden Ring at the same time. I gotta close Elden Ring to bring up the guide as a PS4 game.
I'll tell you who the true heroes are of YouTube guides are the ones who don't speak. They just show you the thing, and they don't say a word. They are the true heroes.
Yes.
As somebody
it's like,
who...
It's like firefighters up top, them, and then like doctors. Like those are like the levels of heroes.
Yes.
Show the map at the beginning, show you walking and doing thing, and then show the map at the end.
Those, as someone who plays a lot of old video games for a show, like I'm thinking in particular our Grim Fandango episodes, like people being able to be like, I cannot fucking figure this out, even with the guide because it's so obtuse, and just have a guy show you without some guy being like, hey, and of course I say this, and then in about 5 minutes I'm gonna pimp on social media and on podcast, but a guy is like the whole time being like, you see right here, we can go right here to the right. And then if you click this, it's going to fill it up. Or what's worse is people who upload the video of them trying to figure it out.
No.
So it's like 20 minutes of them doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then that's a lot worse. Because then
that's
you're just
awful.
sitting there creating their mistakes along with them.
Also, FromSoft has not come up with anything more mentally taxing than Grim Fandango when you're in the woods and you have to figure out how to like get the
No.
spinning machine to topple.
Oh.
FromSoft has done nothing on that level.
If you look at our definitive list carved in Marvel, Grim Fandango is criminally low on the list.
And as we talked
not as
about it,
yeah
I understand
that
why.
it's low on the list. I don't know what the fuck Sonic Adventure 2 is doing at the bottom.
You want to
Still,
do this? Tano, do you want to do this now? Because
I asked to be part of the show,
Yeah,
and Michael
no,
said absolutely not. Like we can't.
Because there was fear of violence. No, I'll tell you right now. We will do if the listeners want, we'll do a file corrupted of just me arguing with you about Sonic Adventure 2 because that game broke me. That game broke me, man. I have finished the game. I finished the games. That one I just said I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I just refused. I just refused because that stupid fucking Knuckles level, man. Like
Those Knuckles levels are bad. They're really bad.
Yeah.
The Rouge
I'm
one
not
was
gonna,
the one that did you in, but
yeah, the Rouge one got me. We don't have to rehash this here.
Please
but
no.
I said that game is like one good game, one boring but okay game, and the worst video game that's ever been designed. And they put them all together, and I will not forgive that worst video game that's ever been designed. But back to the Grim Fandango. Grim Fandango is criminally low on that list because we were trying to stick it so damn high until it was Nick who was like, yeah, but you would fucking hate that game if you didn't play through it having a guide open. He's like,
And
you
he's
would
right.
just be, you would
Which
have never
I'm like,
finished
yeah,
it.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, it was like at that point I was like, yeah, we did link in the show the guides we were using in the show, So yeah, it's one of those things that every time we talk about the list, I'm like, yeah, Grim Fandango, why is that so damn low? And now I'm like, yeah, I would have never finished that video game if it wasn't for that Euro game or had a walkthrough. Let's bring it home, boys. State of the Save at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow us there. You can send us your messages on Elden Ring. We will add that to our show coming out next week. Psychonauts, which would be part 1. Michael, we're playing up to the end of
Lungfishopolis, the boss at the end of that level.
Yes. And then we will be finishing the game in the following episode. If you have not had an opportunity, we have already played this season Control, including all of its DLC. Those are wonderful episodes. And we also had a great show last time on Firewatch. Definitely something worth going back and playing. As always, thank you guys for joining us. Tano, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I have no clue when this show is going to go up. Me and Michael haven't talked about it. So it'll be a surprise to me too. But thank you guys for being on here. It's going to be a great season as we continue to experiment with what File Corrupted is going to be and what this show is going to kind of be throughout this season. So bear with us and stay safe.
Dead Space is also criminally low.